Hello everyone, it's Charlton. Please subscribe to my channel. Tap the notification bell. I'd appreciate it majorly. And there's a story here of a retired New York Police Department sergeant who died earlier today in New York City, and he had just left the hospital. It's Lenox Hill Hospital. Um, Shortly before he collapsed and died, basically right in front of the hospital in the street outside of it. And it says that he was crossing the street. He collapsed at the island in between, crossing the street at a crosswalk. I don't know the exact, dynamics of it, but and he was declared dead at the scene. It says that he was frustrated with the care he was getting at the hospital and that he forcibly discharged himself. They have that over at the New York Post. That's how it's described. And in this New York Daily News article, it says that he told another police officer, he's a former police officer, former police sergeant, he was only 56, that he had just tested, or it says he had just tested positive for the coronavirus. So, I don't know how, and this was at 6 in the morning, I believe, when he died or when he collapsed in front of the hospital. I don't know how, if he had been in the hospital overnight or for a period of time. I would think so, but I don't know, but he had just tested positive for the virus. I don't know if that's one of those new tests where you get results within 15 minutes, or if he had been there for a period of time and finally got his results back. I don't know. But it does say that, a retired New York Police Department sergeant left an Upper East Side hospital after he was diagnosed with COVID-19 and was found dead about an hour later on the street outside, police sources said Tuesday. Yan Chang, 56, was at Lenox Hill Hospital early Tuesday and told an NYPD cop there he had just been diagnosed with the potentially deadly coronavirus. He left a short time later, only to collapse nearby on the traffic island at Park Avenue and East 77th Street about 6:05 a.m. He died. He died at the scene. Chang started feeling like he was coming down with a cold about 5 days ago, and worried relatives urged him to stay home. His family said, "We can't speak. This is a very difficult time. Please respect our family's privacy," Chang's brother told the Daily News at the family's Queens home Tuesday. "It's tragic. We extend our sympathy to his family," said Ed Mullins, the president of the Sergeants Benevolent Association. "It's almost like a science fiction movie. This isn't ending, and the impact of coronavirus is hitting the people who are closest to us." This is a sergeant who was at the point where he was retired and he should be enjoying himself. The city medical examiner will conduct an autopsy to determine the cause of death. So, there's not a lot of details on how, other than the fact that he obviously had coronavirus, but he collapsed and died at the scene. So after basically walking himself out of the hospital. That sounds, in addition to having coronavirus, it sounds a lot like a heart attack. It sounds a lot like cardiac arrest. He wasn't even able to be, revived or taken from where he collapsed back into the hospital to be helped. He died right there. So it just sounds like he went into cardiac arrest and died, right there on the street. I'm not a medical doctor, but that's what it sounds like. But over at the New York Post, it says, that a retired NYPD sergeant with COVID-19 symptoms left the hospital, quote, frustrated with the care he received there, and was found dead on the Upper East Side just an hour later, police sources said Tuesday. Cops found 56-year-old Yan Chang's body near the intersection of East 77th Street and Park Avenue around 6 a.m. Monday, according to sources. I thought that was Tuesday, so maybe this was a whole day ago. Maybe. I'm not sure. I don't know if that's an error or what. Chang was suspected of having COVID-19, but forcibly discharged himself from the hospital hours before he was found dead because he was unhappy with the care he received, the sources said. It's unclear what hospital Chang went to or if he tested positive for the virus, but Lenox Hill Hospital is on 77th. The New York Daily News says he was at Lenox Hospital, and it says he told another officer that he did test positive for the virus. And that's all there, that's all there is, is to it. I mean, I'm reluctant to say it, and they even ask the question, but it just sounds, I mean, he tested positive for coronavirus, and was he given certain medications for that? Once he tested positive, and he tested positive right before leaving the hospital, and according to the Daily News, that's what he told the officer. And was he given, is given some kind of, drug therapy for it, like hydroxychloroquine, which, as I understand it, one of the side effects is, arrhythmia in the heart, and it can cause heart problems, and I don't know. I mean, I'm not. That's just what the first thought that went into my head, and I think it's just a normal, logical conclusion or question to ask. So it's obviously a shame, man. Obviously, it's all a shame. I don't. Maybe the streets are so bare in New York that nobody noticed him. For a period before, and he lay there for a moment. I mean, it's just the fact that he collapsed and died at the scene right outside of the hospital almost instantaneously. That leads me to believe that it was cardiac arrest. It was a heart attack. He's got coronavirus, but so. I mean, there are other reports that the virus actually attacks the heart too, but I don't know. I'm just thinking, test positive, given something, medication, he gets what he wants, he's out of there, leaves the hospital, drops dead in the street. That's why I'm asking those questions. And that's the story there, man. Thanks for watching my videos. Please subscribe to my channel. Give me a like down below. I'll see you in the next video. Later, man.